Okay, let's be absolutely clear from the jump. This is not your typical celebrity gossip column. What we're doing today is a full-on critical deconstruction of a truly legendary cultural moment. So forget the tabloids. Think of this as a clash between two of pop's greatest couture houses, the established formidable House of Sakona versus the avant-garde rebellious House of GAGA.
And it all really boils down to this one central question, doesn't it? It's a question about lineage, about legacy, and ultimately about power. In a world that's literally built on singular, iconic silhouettes, can two monarchs, two queens, really occupy the same throne at the same time?
To really get what's going on here, we have to talk about something called the pop diva paradox. Now, this isn't some new thing. It's a classic cyclical pattern. It's that exact moment when an established force looks up and sees its own reflection in a new contender. And that sparks a huge public debate over inspiration versus imitation and, who really holds the authentic claim to the cultural crown.
So let's start with the first exhibit in our case, the music itself, the very fabric of their artistry. The question we're asking here isn't just about a pop song, it's about provenance. Was this a respectful homage, or was it a straight-up heist?
I mean, you put them side by side, and the structural similarity is just undeniable. On one hand, you have Madonna's iconic 1989 anthem of empowerment, Express Yourself. On the other, Gaga's 2011 manifesto, Born This Way. They both share that familiar melodic shape, that powerful message of self-love. So the big question is, was Gaga just intentionally reinterpreting a classic design for a new generation? Or was this a direct copy of a master's work?
And then came the quote, the one that basically lit the match, with one single perfectly chosen word, reductive. Madonna laid her critique bare for the world to see. Now, this wasn't just a musical opinion. Oh no, this was the reigning monarch publicly questioning the originality of the heir apparent. The Cold War between the two houses, it had just turned hot.
But you gotta ask, right? Was it really the artists themselves who kept this whole thing going? Or did the fire truly catch in the court of public opinion, fanned into an absolute blaze by their most devoted followers?
Well, if you look at the evidence, it tells a fascinating story. Sure, Madonna's comments provided that initial spark, and the media, of course, they crafted a narrative they could sell. But the sheer scale of the fan army's involvement, that's the real story here. The Little Monsters versus the Madonna stans, they became the battalions, the loyal soldiers fighting this war on behalf of their queens.
And their tactics were absolutely relentless. This was no passive rivalry, believe me. It became an active, daily, cultural conflict fought on the digital front lines. Sales charts were battlefields, comment sections were war zones. Every single performance was picked apart, scrutinized for any sign of weakness or triumph. Their devotion was literally weaponized.
Okay, to truly, deeply understand this rivalry, we have to dig a little deeper into their shared artistic lineage, into a shared aesthetic obsession, really. See, both artists look to the exact same mythic silhouette to craft their own legends. The one and only Marilyn Monroe.
And when you lay it all out like this on a timeline, you start to see this incredible pattern of inheritance. It starts with Monroe's original, iconic performance. Then, decades later, you get Madonna's brilliant postmodern homage in Material Girl. And then you see Gaga, again and again, channeling that same old Hollywood glamour. They both understood a key rule. To become a legend, you have to strategically borrow from the legends who came before you.
And this is the most crucial point right here. It was never about simple imitation. This was a calculated, brilliant act of legacy building. What Madonna and Gaga were both doing was reaching back in time to claim Marilyn's cultural power, her entire commentary on fame and sexuality and tragedy, and then retailoring it to fit their own unique contemporary designs. Just masterful.
So, that brings us to the final act of our little deconstruction here. After all those years of conflict, could this couture Cold War ever truly end? Could it possibly even lead to the most unexpected collaboration imaginable?
Well, the path to peace has been tentative, let's say. After years of public shade and criticism, something shifted. It started with a single photograph from an Oscars after-party back in 2019. There they were, together, looking relaxed, almost conspiratorial. It was like a ceasefire captured in a flash. And that was followed by a very public embrace, signaling to the world that, for now at least, the war was over.
And so, we're left with this one last provocative question to chew on.
Would a collaboration between them be the ultimate fusion, creating something completely new and groundbreaking? Or, and here's the real paradox, isn't it, is the tension between the House of Saccone and the House of Gaga the very source of their power? Maybe some legends are just so potent, their legacies so monumental, that they're destined to reign separately, forever defined by their magnificent creative distance.